Alrighty, we are live. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Collective Comics and the Lights, Camera, Action podcast. This is episode 1 that we're dropping here. Super stoked on that one. 0 dropped last week.
We released episode 0. Oh, this is...
Pops up.
All right. So... We actually had a few people listening to episode 0, even though we never announced it. We didn't really do any talking about it. We just kind of decided to go for it. So let us know. Hopefully we'll hit some more people with this one. Either way, we're having fun doing all this stuff. We had some videos coming out this week.
Got a lot of stuff planned. Everything's getting the ball rolling a lot quicker than we anticipated. That's for sure. I'm excited about it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We also came into this week thinking, like, let's do the podcast in one episode, one video, and let's see how that goes. We got 4 or 5 videos coming out this week, including the podcast.
I think it's 4 now. We started with the one, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Then we started thinking like, oh, you know what? We're going to upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah.
And that's what we stuck with for a little bit up until last week. And then we started filming. And then this week, we all of a sudden have 4 videos. And we're like, you know what? We got the time.
It is 5 videos.
Let's add that 5th video.
Yeah, it is 5.
Isn't that crazy?
That's because we were going to do the podcast, Lights, Comics, Action. And then we were going to do pull list. And you were going to take care of the pull list. And I was going to edit it. And we're going to get it out. Excuse me. And then we're like, well, let's just kind of we went to grab some stuff.
Yeah.
There's a video, so bear with me here. We went to grab some stuff and we're like, let's just kind of film us opening it.
Yep.
And then we're like, well, let's go back to the shop.
We need more stuff.
And buy more stuff.
A hole was left in my heart back at that shop earlier in that day. It was filled now.
Filled to the brim.
Yeah.
So anyways, we were like, let's go get more stuff. And then we're like, well, let's just film us getting this stuff and at the comic shop. And pretty soon we're like, let's just kind of do this every week. We're just kind of film when we're together and when we're doing stuff and we're filming. And let's put out a vlog.
Yeah.
We'll just do like a weekly vlog. And the more stuff we get into, the more crazy it's going to be. C2E2 is coming up, so hey, that's cool. We'll probably head to that and get some vlog footage of that. So the more stuff we get into, the cooler the vlogs will be. And then it was like, well, I like the stuff we got. Like, let's just do a video talking about the stuff we got. So we got a spotlight coming out on Fridays.
That is Friday. That's this Friday. Yep. Yeah,
the pull list is going to come out on Monday, which you hopefully already saw. If you haven't, go check it out. This is coming out on Wednesdays. I haven't even talked about what's coming out on Thursdays yet.
Yeah, new stuff.
Friday is going to be the spotlight videos, and we're going to just kind of spotlight something every week. So if we get a new thing for the set, he'll pick something and I'll pick something. We'll spotlight that. And then Sundays, that vlog from that week is going to come out. And then Monday, we're going to start fresh.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Pretty much 5 days a week.
And then when I was editing, I was waiting for videos to move around and to export videos and making this and making that. I was always waiting. So I just grabbed my tablet and I started reading a comic. And I'm like, I'm going to read a comic every week probably doing this.
Right.
So why not talk about that? So
you realized you had more time than you thought you did. You know, like, yeah, I'm editing, but... You know what? It's going to take an hour and a half for this thing to render.
Yeah.
you know?
Or like I have to make proxies for the clips so we can edit because we're trying 4K this week.
I don't know if anybody noticed that.
I hope it looks nicer. We saw some stuff from the last week and we're like, oh, that looks kind of weird. Yeah. This and that. So we're trying 4K this week, which was way harder to edit on my computer. So I have to make proxies for every little clip. And that takes an hour to make a proxy. So I'm reading and then I edit. And then I have to export it, so I'm waiting an hour, and then I'm
playing a long waiting game, dude.
So like
catch up on the story.
I don't want to like leave my desk because I'm paying attention to what's going on and making sure there's no errors and blah blah blah. So I'm just sitting at my desk reading a comic and
Right.
doing that. So
whatever works, man.
That's kind of the schedule for the week. We'll see how it goes this week. Let us know what you think about it, and we're gonna keep the train moving.
Right? Are we diving into this already?
Sure.
We're diving in.
Are you ready to dive?
I don't know, dude. You're the one that keeps holding me back.
I know, because I want to save it for this.
Yeah.
She-Hulk season 1 is finished. It's done. I feel like I'm just going to let Javier go in, and then I'll just say what I think later.
I don't even know where to start, dude.
Yep.
That's the problem. I don't know where to start just because I felt like it was off to a pretty solid start. We're going to start at episode 1 here.
Okay.
I felt like I was really excited. Mm-hmm. I was really excited about it, but then I was like, you know what? MCU, let's see if they do their thing and just ruin it. I thought it was off to a good start. I was like, maybe we'll have some good chunk of the story here. And then they got out of like the good part of the story way too quick. They were out of the good part of the story in episode 1.
I don't agree.
In my opinion.
I don't agree. I don't agree with that, but hey.
Everything that was good that was going in episode 1, they threw out the window.
Well, what did you like about episode 1? Why did you like episode 1 so much?
I thought it was a good start, and I thought something a lot bigger was coming.
Yeah.
Than a chick flick.
I like chick flicks.
I like them too, but I wasn't prepared.
I think they did most of the season well.
I thought it was okay. They brought it kind of back at the end, and we just got that this week.
What? What did they bring back at the end?
No, like I meant like my attention. Like my attention. Like I was completely like done with it. But by the time like episode 3, when they did the Daredevil thing and he didn't come in right away, done. I checked out.
You're too impatient.
I clearly was. And then I was real happy, and then I was like, oh, well, now it's a romance Daredevil thing.
I mean, it was a romance story the whole time. Ugh. So thinking that it wasn't going to be a romance story, I don't know if that's on them or that's on you.
I didn't think it was going to be that big of a romance. Or I don't know, dude.
It was like episode 2 or 3, and she's just on dating apps. Like,
why?
Why not? That's where we are as a society.
Go to space and help Bruce.
She didn't even know Bruce was in space.
Yeah. She could have went with him. She would have just stuck around.
Because she calls him and she's like,
we could have been into Secret Wars way quicker. Just saying.
Yeah, Secret Wars, Meek Wars.
Bro.
I mean, I feel like, or it sounds like I'm defending this quite a bit right now. But it's not going to end that way.
Okay.
Because I feel
we keep leaking each other's thoughts to each other.
Yeah.
And then we're like, no, bro. And then we're going to save it for the podcast.
Yeah, we have to.
This is the meat and the potatoes right here.
Yeah.
I'm also trying not to just rush through it either. But
I've got to adjust the mic a little bit. I knew it would get hot, but
was I real hot?
I don't know. I just see peaks. I'm just seeing peaks and valleys. So if the audio is a little clippy before this,
right? If I was 2 in your ear.
Okay. So there was at one point where she called Bruce and was like, "Where you at, Bruce?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm just out. I'm out of town." And you're like, "Oh, he's in space. What? Why didn't he say that?"
Dude, but what are they? That's what I wanted to They're just. This whole season was a big tease. That was it.
That's where I'm coming in. I feel like that's the only reason they made this whole show.
They spiked books for no reason.
That's on everybody else. They didn't.
That is not. That's on the MCU for giving us a teaser and just being like, psych. That's on them. They're trying to spike their own books. And it's not even benefiting them.
Why wouldn't they spike their own books?
They're not getting the money from it. It's the collectors that are making the book spike, and the collectors that are getting the money. They sold that book back in the freaking 50s for 12 cents. But what are we? 12 cents.
What are we doing right now?
Collecting them.
We're talking about them.
Yeah, but
that's all they need. They need us to talk about it.
Pay us, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. But
and She-Hulk. There's a new issue of She-Hulk coming out in like 2 weeks.
I mean, I think it's already out. I think we're on.
I think seven is coming out soon.
I think it's one of those slower rollers, though. I think it's like one issue every other.
Oh,
month.
A slow roller, kind of like the show was,
dude. And then, okay, I know it happened in the comics. I guess it happened in the comics.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Don't look at the camera, dude.
Well, if you're gonna say it about her, you have to say it about Deadpool.
I'm going to say it about myself right now. Stop looking at the camera. Okay, I can't say it about Deadpool, though. Deadpool's dope.
See? You can't have...
I don't know. It was just, I don't know. I was like... Deadpool just was a totally different thing for me. I feel like.
Clearly.
I don't know, dude.
So I was pretty much invested in the show most of the season. The first couple episodes were really good to me, and then they brought Titania back.
Yeah.
And then there was a whole episode about her suing She-Hulk for using the name She-Hulk. And then I was like, all right, I think I haven't brought the shorts over to Collective Comics yet. We haven't done that because we've been getting all the other videos ready. But I think on my TikTok, I uploaded a short about like how upset I was about that episode.
Yeah, but it just didn't make any sense.
But they did do a teaser at the end. I'm like, okay, the next episode's going to be way cooler.
That was the Daredevil teaser.
Right.
Was it not?
I believe it was.
That was
yeah.
That was when I was like, I came in for the next episode, and by the end of it, the credits started rolling, and I'm like, where's Daredevil?
Yeah.
I freaked out. I remember I yelled at my girlfriend. I was like, I am so mad. And she's like, what is the problem? I was like, are you kidding me, Daredevil? And she's like, what are you? She didn't even notice the fact that his mask was at the end of that episode when she was getting her suit. And then I was like, she's getting 2 suits. They're going to bring the fucking white and purple back. And I said the F word, but I shouldn't have. But
you're heated. So that there was a Daredevil teaser. I was like, okay, the next episode is gonna. It was a build-up episode. Okay. Next episode came. There was no Daredevil. There was no real excitement, and there was another teaser at the end of the episode. Which, first of all, I'm confused because for like 6 of the 9 episodes, there was no ending credit scene. There was no ending credit scene for 6 of the 9 episodes, and then all of a sudden, for the last episode, they brought ending credit scenes back.
Was there not?
No.
No way. Because I keep thinking, I swear, like, my one issue with it was that I felt the show always ended exactly the same way that it started.
Like, I guess, yeah.
When it was ending, I always thought, like, oh, I'm at the beginning of another episode. And then the end credits would roll, and I remember sitting there and watching the entire end credits roll and being mad because I was like, I thought those were the beginning credits. Like, I did it a couple times, so like that's why I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah. There was no ending credit scenes on like most of the episodes.
Was it like episode 1 through 3 that had the credits or something? And they got
I don't know if it was 1 through 3 or 1 and 2, but I feel like I remember there being ending credit scenes at the beginning of the season, and then the very last episode had an end credit scene. And then, okay, so that put aside, I feel like they just put the end credit scene before the credits because there's always like a cliffhanger at the end of every episode.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, the next one's going to be better. And then they had the wedding episode, and I was like, what the heck is this? And then there was a teaser at the end. I was like, okay, so now both teasers are going to come through in the next episode.
Yep.
And then there was another teaser at the end of the episode, and I was like, when are we going to get like resolution on anything in this show? Because like I liked the first couple episodes, and it's not that I didn't like the next few, but there was no resolution to anything.
I know. That was my problem with it too, is that I'm like, what is happening? And I felt like there was like 4 different storylines going on at once, and I just felt I'm sorry, I didn't know if I interrupted you.
No, you're good.
I felt that I didn't even think that Marvel knew what they were doing until the last episode. And then they were like, well, we'll just do this.
Going back to what we were saying earlier, I think they knew exactly what they were doing. They were going to be like, here's She-Hulk, here's a bunch of Hulks, here's Abomination. This is not a show worth watching, but you see something else is coming because now we have 5 Hulks or 4 Hulks or whatever, including Abomination.
And Scar.
Right, yeah, because you have She-Hulk, Hulk, Scar, and Abomination. You could... Who knows what's going on with that other guy who injected himself, became a Hulk for 5 seconds, and then at the end of the show, he wasn't a Hulk anymore.
And he was arrested and in trouble.
And there wasn't even like...
She literally said, scrap that. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
To the computer that's like making... Bro.
We're not even to the end yet. So we got... This is why I'm upset, because I was defending this show to you
big time
and to other people. I'm like, it's coming. It's coming. Like, just be patient. There's more episodes. And then I was like, okay, I might be wrong about this. I bumped the mic. I might be wrong about this, but I feel like most Marvel shows are 8 episodes long. This one got to episode 8, and I was like, it was getting to the end, and I was like, what is happening? There's nothing happening. This is the season finale. And then all of a sudden she looks at the camera and she's like, next episode's the season finale. I'm like, okay, so there's 9 episodes. Yeah. So they have to do something in the 9th episode. And then they did nothing in the 9th episode. So it was like...
They just fixed the holes that they left open.
Did they?
Well, that's what they tried to do. And like that was my whole thing, especially with that last episode. Is I was like, okay, cool, starting to and then they just cut it. The Hulk dropped out the sky, and I was like, huh, like out of nowhere. And then she took that out the equation. She was like, yeah, Bruce never happened.
Yeah.
And then she was like, that guy, yeah, I want him to I think take responsibility for what he did, stealing my blood and yada yada yada. And then that's that. And
she wanted Abomination to take responsibility for his actions.
It was just Abomination. It wasn't also that other dude. I thought it was because he got arrested, and she was like, yeah, that stuff. She's like, that can't happen.
The other dude got arrested, and Abomination is like, I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was like, I shouldn't have been the Abomination, and I should have blah blah blah. Take me to prison, you know.
Once that other dude started turning in to another Hulk, I was like, well, here's Red Hulk or something. And
that's what I was thinking.
My heart dropped, dude, and I was like, okay, here we go. And then I started getting really into it, and then it was a cutscene, and then they just stopped it, dude. You can't do that to me. I was like, I was into it, but they did it like 3 times in 5 seconds.
Yeah,
they made me feel every single emotion in a 5-second clip of that last episode. That I was just like, huh? No, like I was, oh, dude, like.
I wasn't quite like that. I was like, all right, finally something's happening. And then I sat on it, and then they changed it again. And then they went to the Disney Plus menu. And I was like, it's over. It's over. I had a little bit of hope that she would come back from that and resume. And I actually looked at my phone. I was like, this is a season finale. They're doing this weird thing. This must be a long episode. And I actually like hit the controller to see how long was left in the episode. I was like, it's not a long episode. Mm-hmm. Like, what are they doing? What is happening? Like, I'm not going to lie. There's part of me that like thinks it's funny. And I like the fact that they like brought attention to themselves and called themselves out. Like the whole
cameo every episode.
Yeah,
thing. That happened like third episode. She was like, "This is not going to be one of those cameo every episode shows." Yeah. It totally was the whole time.
And then when she's like, "Oh, the writers are like, this is how a superhero movie works. This has to be this." And then at the end, the hero does this and this and this, and she's like, "Why does it have to be like that?" Like, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? Like,
because that's what we want.
And then she's like. Oh, the when Kevin the computer comes down and he's like, "Can you turn back into Jen because CG is too expensive and we already have like our team's working on the next show, the next project."
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's kind of funny because you guys are putting out movies faster than your audience can barely keep track of, and now you're saying that you can't keep track.
I mean, we have the next 2 phases completely.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Which, like, realistic. You think in the total of movies and shows coming out within those 2 phases is like 13 or 14.
Yeah,
that's a lot, dude. For 2 years.
Yeah, because wasn't there only like 6 movies in phase 1 or something like that?
Phase 1 was like a 10-year period. I feel like
with like 6 movies.
Yeah.
And then now we have like the next two
1
phases
year with like 15 movies in it.
Yeah.
I feel like they just go too fast, and with Marvel, it's the classic case of quantity over quality.
Yeah.
That's the world that we live in. Sadly, is fast pace and streaming, and it has to be right there, readily available right now, or else you're just.
Especially like coming from music, it was like, why put out an album? Because it doesn't matter if you put out one song this week or 16 songs this week. They're going to listen to something else next week anyways. Mm-hmm. So if you put out 16 songs, your 16 songs are going to last a week. Mm-hmm. If you put out one song, your one song will last a week. It's the same thing with movies. So like, if you put out one movie right now this year, if you put out one Marvel movie this year, people talk about it 1 week, maybe a month, maybe something happens in the comics to tie into it, so it keeps something going a little bit longer. But then there's other movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The movies come out every week. Movies come out on Netflix every day. Movies come out on Disney Plus all the time. There's so much content.
They're getting just as fast about it as music was.
Oh yeah.
Point. And I know that was a big problem with a lot of, especially like with, what was it, Love and Thunder and stuff. Everybody was complaining about certain things in CGI and The Last Avengers, and like, why is there like this gray film over it? It's because they're trying to pump it out so quick, and they realize they don't have to work as hard with CGI when they put the gray film over the entire movie.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy because like there's so much money going into these, and there's so many corners being cut. But then it's like, I mean, I'm guilty of it too. It's like, all right, where's the next one? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, where's the next movie?
You want it right away.
All right, She-Hulk is over. What did they tease? What is this? What is that? What are we getting next?
Yeah.
And I mean, you got some people looking forward to Secret Wars, which is coming.
That's all I want, dude. That's all we want. Everybody wants Secret Wars.
I mean, yeah, like I want it to be here, but I feel they have.
I can care less about the setup.
They have so much to do, and I want to see it. Like, don't drop the ball along the way.
As long as they don't do, because it's making me scared for Deadpool 3. Dude, if they pull this crap with Deadpool 3, I'm done.
But I don't think.
Not that I'm done, but what am I going to be done for? Watching them? Yeah, probably.
I think they put out She-Hulk to do exactly what it did. It was there to just announce and tease a bunch of stuff and get you ready for the next one.
Secret Wars?
Or just like introduce everybody. And like, it wasn't meant to be like a standout show, I feel like we got Scar at the end. We saw Hulk. We saw Abomination. It's reintroducing you to some of these characters.
Was never like the craziest like sellout one-off story. You know what I'm saying? Like She-Hulk is She-Hulk.
But I mean, when I went to the internet, the interwebs, to see what people were saying about it, and it was such a confusing. Some of it was so confusing because some people were super excited about it, and it was all Easter eggs and stuff that they were excited about. They weren't excited about the episode or the season. It was like
they were excited about the Daredevil drop that made all the Daredevil books spike up in price.
I'm not even talking about books at this point. I'm talking as like somebody who watches movies. Mm-hmm. They're like, the intro to She-Hulk was shot for shot from the classic Hulk show or movie, and I'm so excited that they did it that way, and that was so cool. They referenced X-Men 3 times throughout the season, and that was super cool. We got Daredevil and this and that was super cool. And it was all this stuff.
I caught the big X-Men one at the end.
Yeah, she said something about,
is it X-Men? What's next or something like that. She was like, "Oh, we'll save that for the movie."
Earlier in the season, she said something about we don't need a guy with claws coming out of his hands or something like that. Yeah. Like it was some reference to Wolverine, and then later in the season, her friend Nikki, I think her name was, she came out with like makeup brushes in her hands like Wolverine and started like swinging them around and stuff like that. So it was like, all right, so in the middle of this, we got a Wolverine, like Deadpool announcement. They're referencing Deadpool the whole time. They're throwing like bones to all the people who watch classic Hulk, and you're getting Easter eggs from that. You get all these, you get Scar, you're reintroduced to Abomination, you get a little bit of Hulk here and there. Like, you get Wong, which, like, people were super excited for Wong because anything Wong is in, people are excited for.
I feel like that's what really set Wong over, especially recently, was just like, now Wong's a household name.
Oh, yeah.
As She-Hulk. Because everybody's seen it now at this point.
Yeah, I mean, even with the stuff that he was recently in, with, like, the Spider-Man stuff he was in, the Doctor Strange, the Scarlet Witch one, the multiverse, he was all over that.
My girlfriend didn't even realize that with Spider-Man. We went to see Spider-Man in theaters. What's it called? The new one? Is it No Way Home? No. Time travel.
Far From Home?
Yeah. With Toby and Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, that is No Way Home, I believe. Yeah, because it was Homecoming. I always remember this interview that he did because he was like, I was in Spider-Man Homecoming, which I was super far away from home in because he's from the UK. Then I was in Spider-Man Far From Home, and it was right next to my home. And then there was No Way Home at the end. But yeah, I liked that movie.
I thought that movie was great. Tobey Maguire coming back blew me out of the water, dude. Like, that was my Spider-Man growing up. I was very young I remember that movie coming out, and I was very, very young, and I had all the action figures, and they were all Tobey Maguire.
Right.
Like, I didn't know his real name. That was Peter Parker. You know, like, anytime I saw him pop up anywhere else on TV or, you know, with his problems and stuff like that, like, I was like, oh, dude, Peter Parker, cool.
I really liked the first Tobey Maguire one. I didn't care too much for the second one, and then I just didn't even watch the third one.
See, I felt like they gradually got worse exactly in that order, 1, 2, and 3. 2, I watched not too long ago because my son is obsessed with Spider-Man. And 2 is, I still like 2.
Right.
I think, because I feel like that was probably the third or fourth movie I've ever seen in theaters that, like, I was old enough to, like, behave myself and, like, remember it, you know?
Right.
So that, I remember that one a lot. But I feel like, either way, I feel like She-Hulk was just... I feel like she deserved better.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Than what Marvel did her. Because all Marvel did with She-Hulk was use it to amp up other characters.
Yeah.
I feel like She-Hulk realistically got the short end of the stick. Everybody else has a cooler story than She-Hulk in this show.
I think I liked a lot of her story, like her becoming it on accident and then struggling with, like, I just want to do my job, but, like, then she gets hired and they make her be She-Hulk and she's struggling with that. And I liked, like, the whole, like, touching on, like, the issue of men want She-Hulk, and then when, you know, the struggles of things that we see in the world every day, and I'm here for women heroes and all that stuff, and then I just hate that, like, at the end they basically made her a character that ran and talked to the manager. Like, that irritated me so much. It's like, you could have done this in such a way that made She-Hulk look badass, got me excited for whatever's coming up, and make me want a season 2.
You could have made her right on that edge of anti-hero.
Like,
I feel like.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You could have pissed her off and made her right on that brink of pissed off Hulk. And I didn't for the first, like, especially like in phase 1 and phase 2. I like phase 1. I was like, dude, I have a hard time comprehending the fact that the Hulk is a superhero.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because he was so mad all the time,
breaking everything,
and didn't care. And I was like, okay, so you're gonna tell me that those 20 buildings that he just smashed to rubble, there was no innocent people in there whatsoever? Right, yeah. You know, you freaking liar! Like, you know, like that was the battle that I'm like, Bruce got it hard.
Yeah,
Bruce got it very hard and difficult, and he fixed that. But
right.
I don't know.
I was talking to my wife about, like, because she's like, will they have a season 2 of that? Like, how would they have a season 2? I was like, they would have to come out with whatever Hulk thing they're working on, Planet Hulk, World War Hulk, something with all the Hulks. Like you just announced all the Hulks. You use a whole TV show to announce a Hulk. You know what I mean? Or 2 Hulks.
I just don't even understand how Scar got pulled into it because I'm like, where does?
Well, I think she was like, save that for a movie.
No, that's the reunion at the barbecue.
Yeah,
he, like showed up and that she was already done with that, and then she was like celebrating.
But I think Kevin was like, we have to talk about why. Oh my God, we have to talk about why Hulk was in space, and she's like, save that for a movie.
Yeah,
and then you see Scar at the end, and you're like, oh, that's why he was in space. But now we have no resolution again.
Well, that's Secret Wars.
I mean,
we know that
we could see something between here and there. We
know the timeline though. We know exactly what order the movies are coming out. They're setting up Secret Wars.
Well, yeah, everything is going to be to do that.
I just want it so bad.
But I'm not even worried about that. That's in the distance. I don't care about that. I want, like, you need to tell me a story. Like you need to tell me, like, if you didn't want to tell a story, then bring out Secret Wars next month. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you're making the decision to have all of these movies between here and there. So tell me a story. And like,
the thing is that the story has really no almost context really to it. It's just almost filler.
But they're not following the books anyways. They're not.
Well, I'm not even saying that. I'm saying like with this, especially with season 1 now, I just feel like all those episodes, like you just kind of rewrote it right at the end there. Like that didn't matter at all.
Yeah.
Everything that happened in the first episode, throw it out the window because she's going to change it in season 2 and that's what's going to happen.
But I feel like, because you had texted me at one point after we had watched it and you were like, Marvel's going to mess up everything and they're going to mess up Secret Wars and if they do this and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, I'm thinking about, like, I started thinking about other stuff that came out this year too. Because something like this has to be in production for a while. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They didn't decide 9 weeks ago they're gonna have they didn't decide 10 weeks ago they're gonna have a 9-week She-Hulk and it's put out. You know what I mean?
And they're shooting it week to week and
but I mean, we just had Moonknight too, and I loved Moonknight.
Moonknight was freaking awesome.
That had nothing to do with like anything around it. We got the good story of Moonknight. This is who Mark Spector is. This is, you know, we got to see all these people, and I think they did a really good job telling that story. Mm-hmm. We just got Loki. Loki might have been last year, but
I think it was. Yeah, it was last year.
But like people really like Loki and that story, and you know, seeing things from Loki's point of view. I wasn't like super into Loki. It was not my favorite show, but I know like people liked it a lot, and realistically, the story itself was good. Yeah. So like, they're not just dropping the ball constantly. They're not like fumbling all the way to the end zone. Yeah. They like threw an interception. You know what I mean? Right, yeah. They punted the ball backwards on accident with She-Hulk. Yeah, but like, exactly. But like, I mean, we got Black Panther coming up. Like, we got all these things coming up, and it's sad to me because it's like the way that they ended that, like, save it for a movie. We don't have any money for this show because we're working on the next movie. Like all this stuff, it's like, then why are you putting out shows if you're not going to invest the time to make it a good story? So like, are you telling me I should just go see movies now and not even worry about the shows? Because like, that's what you just told me talking to a freaking computer. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then it, like, there was just then like there was that record teaser too, and like, okay, so are we gonna get, is there another Thor coming and then we're gonna get Wreckers, or like what is gonna happen with that? Or, you know, there's so many things that just never got resolved. Yeah. So could I have just, I mean, for this, yes, could I have just like watched somebody do a quick YouTube breakdown on like the whole season in 5 minutes and got the whole show? And can I keep doing that for every show from now on? You know what I mean? Or probably. Or will it be like a Moonknight or a Loki where like the story is good and that's what I care about? You know what I mean? Because like with Moonknight, they introduced you to Moonknight. They showed you who he was, why he was, what he's doing, what's going on.
Dude, the first 3 episodes had me spinning, dude. I was just like, what is going on? Yeah. First main episode, really, and episode 2 kind of put it in. By third episode, I was hooked.
I feel like I was once again, I feel like I was a little bit different than a lot of people. By like the end of the first episode, I was like, how long is this episode? Mm-hmm. And then from there on, every episode I watched after that, I was like, all right, next episode. I would just like be like, I can watch one more.
It had a weird, I mean? It had a slow start, and they flipped it for She-Hulk for me.
Yeah,
it had a really banging start, really, really dope, and then it went. I felt like everything just started happening way too fast for me because I was like, she's already done with like being in Mexico and not being around, civilization and training and Bruce and all that stuff. I was like, she's been there a day, 2,
right? Yeah,
if that. She threw a couple rocks. That was her training. She threw a couple rocks. Yeah, like
it's clobbering time.
Right? I mean, Fantastic Four's coming soon.
Yeah. I'm really. Anyways, go back to this.
I know.
I mean, I was going to talk about Moonknight, I think, anyways, but
yeah.
No, Moonknight made me want a second season. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So even if they do less with the second season, and they use it as like a completely a transitional period, like, all right, last season you got all this Moonknight, you got to see this, and this. Now we're going to take the second season, now that you know what you're watching, and we're going to transition him into the universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I don't want to see a second season of She-Hulk now. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
'Cause after the first 1 or 2, maybe even 3 episodes, I was like, I can't wait for next week. Like, let's go. Like, let's keep going. And now it's like, I don't care. Like, you introduce a character, got me excited about that character, and then got me to the point where I couldn't care less if I never see that character again.
Yeah. That's the same exact thing that happened to me. Is that like, dude, I went out and I bought all this She-Hulk because I was like, this is going to be cool. Mm-hmm. I thought it was going to be really, really awesome. And now it's to the point where I just wish that, dude, I feel bad for saying it. Like I feel guilty. Like, oh, like you almost had a good one.
Yeah.
But I think they should just cancel it and really focus on the heavy hitters that they got announced already. Stop messing around and stop playing around with these baby shows. Get the story together. Put a real show together, like Moonknight. Moonknight is, and now it's just going to keep going and keep going.
Well, I thought
they hit gold with Moonknight.
I thought that's what they were going to do with these shows, was going to be like, here's a season of a show to introduce you to a character, make them look like a badass.
Yeah.
And then when they show up in a movie, they don't come out of nowhere.
Mm. I'd rather see her out of nowhere and then get the show.
After seeing the show, I would definitely, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm happy the way they did it with Moonknight, because now, like, if he comes in halfway through a movie, I'm gonna be like jacked up. You know what I mean? I'll be like,
yeah, because he's got all these different minds and like a split personality, and then Khonshu, you have to understand that whole thing.
Yeah.
It took my girlfriend forever to figure out Khonshu and like understand what is happening. And I'm like, it's Egyptian gods and like the whole Avatar thing and them pretty much being like a human host for them. That was, once you get past that, I felt like that was what made it so interesting on top of that.
But now if you took half of the She-Hulk season, the first half, and you did exactly what you did, but in the second half, she was like, all right, Bruce, like, screw being a lawyer. I'll do that if I can, but I want to like hone my skills. And you get her going out and even doing like the equivalent to like a ride along with Bruce, and you see her starting to take over, and you start doing all this stuff, and you're like, yo, she's doing her thing.
Yeah, dude.
And then you end the season, and then like halfway through some movie, she freaking lands on top of a car and smashes it, and she's like, hey guys. I'd be like, yes,
right?
She-Hulk.
Yeah,
you know
dude.
what I mean? But now it's just like, all right, She-Hulk's around. You know what I mean? Like, if that's the kind of stuff that I wanted to see.
It's disappointing, man.
And I mean, like I said before, like I didn't even have any expectations. I didn't know much about She-Hulk at all, except for like what she looked like, kind of. I mean, she's a huge green woman.
She's a Hulk, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's basically, she's
so
a
like,
woman.
if I saw her in a movie and they didn't say, "Hey, this is She-Hulk," I'd been like, "Okay, that's She-Hulk." Okay,
yeah, you're gonna know.
So like, I had no idea what to expect coming into this. They built my expectations with the first few episodes, and then it was like I went to a restaurant to eat, and they sat me down at a table, set the whole table, and then just ripped the tablecloth off with all.
Tried to do the magic trick and went, whoops, we grabbed your plates with it.
Just like,
yeah, like actually.
Just, like, shattered everything. Oh, man. I don't know.
Terrible. Not that it's terrible. I take that one back.
Dude.
You could have done better,
The day after you started texting me, like, your text boxes would fill up my screen like twice. I was like, I'm not reading.
And I'm not
this.
a texter like that.
No, you don't. You don't text me back half the time.
I text like I'm a one word kind of get to the point. Like, oh, I didn't mean to make that sound shitty, but it sounded very crappy.
But I got it out. However, it got out.
You know, yeah, because that's what I meant.
Right.
You know, very blunt to the point. Hi, bye.
I tried to like be smart about it, and I was like, because I know that your girlfriend was pumped about She-Hulk and she liked She-Hulk.
Yep.
So I texted you. I was like, I'm curious to see what she thinks about the last episode.
Now?
And then you just started going off about what you thought. I'm like, I didn't ask you, bro.
I didn't ask you. But you know what? I'm going to tell you anyway, dude.
I was like, I want to hear it on the podcast.
Okay, maybe we'll have to get her on here. She's actually been asking. She's like, "Would you have me on one?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll have you on."
I mean, I'm down.
Especially if we're talking She-Hulk. She'll love to talk She-Hulk. She's not like huge into the comics and canon and knows what's canon. I don't know with She-Hulk. I don't know exactly 100%. Like I can't tell you 100% what's canon and what's not. But she liked it. She wants to see more women superheroes.
I'm down for that.
I'm 100% down for it, but do it right.
Like
you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like they didn't have them in the movies and in their own shows for so long that you at least should give them the respect and do them right.
Like in I think it was Endgame, when like the final battle and everybody's like getting messed up, and then all of a sudden this line of women heroes comes up. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah,
like,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Let's go.
Dude, I thought you were going to say when everybody started dying, and I was like, oh, don't even get me started.
Oh, no. No, it was like Captain Marvel and Black Widow and the girls from Wakanda and all that stuff, and they're like, we're not letting you we're not letting you do this. You know what I mean? I was like, yes. I was like,
just
yeah. You know, if you know, you know.
If you know what, there's going to be a couple beeps. I slipped once or twice.
Oh, it is.
This one has got me going. We'll get better at the filter and everything.
Yeah, we're working on it just to not have that in there. But I mean, realistically, this stuff isn't made for kids. So
yeah,
I mean, that's up to you guys to decide. Right. You know what I mean? But we are trying to clean it up a little bit. You should hear some of our mistakes when we're filming videos and we screw up the same line 5 times in a row, and
or I start fumbling over my own tongue.
Oh god.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, there would be some there would be like just like the 30-second beep. Like,
right.
You know,
yeah. Like that episode of that 70s show when Red Foreman's just going off. Or wait, was it Kitty? I don't even remember. But I don't know, dog. This whole thing, we've been on She-Hulk this whole time, haven't we?
Yep.
45 minutes in on She-Hulk. I mean, it's got me so up and down, bro. Like, there was some parts that I liked about it. And finally, I mean, like, it was such a sense of relief, not going to lie, when they finally brought Daredevil back in. Mm-hmm. And they, like, actually dropped him. When that happened, it kept me content.
Right.
Up until the last episode.
Something I told my wife, too, I was like, they could have done this. they could have done this the exact same way if they did episode 9 and episode 8. If they condensed a couple of those earlier episodes, like, because they were all builder episodes, they weren't really like, they weren't content heavy. I mean, she was going through a lawsuit, the wedding.
They had the potential of making that first battle with Titania really, really awesome.
Yeah.
But
even if they did everything the exact same, or even if they added an episode 10 and did the whole, like, talking to Kevin, everything, if they did that either in episode 8 or added an episode 10 and had her come back from that and just, like, clean house and, you know, be a Hulk, I think it would have been totally fine, because you would have got all that resolution. You would have had a season finale. And then then you could put Scar at the end of it, and then you'd be like on a high the whole episode, because She-Hulk is being a Hulk, and you're like, finally, yes, let's do it.
Potential Hulk.
Why is Scar here?
Yeah.
and then the episode ends, and it's like, oh, that after a couple of weird episodes, I got the finale. There's a finale, and I want to see more now, because, like,
I think they're gonna get rid of Scar.
Well,
I think they're gonna nerf it or something.
Well, all we can do is wait and find out. Maybe they'll have a Scar Hulk movie.
I feel like I just waited 9 weeks.
Oh no.
To be disappointed. I'm done waiting on
You were
Marvel.
disappointed 4 weeks ago.
That's my point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I waited 9 weeks just to be in the same spot that I just should have never watched it. Like, at a certain point.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this show, you could have got, like, the Spark Notes version and completely, you know what I mean?
Dude, because, like, I totally, knowing that this was happening so fast, and knowing the fact that I didn't start Pennyworth, didn't start it because I was trying to finish watching She-Hulk and not get Pennyworth intertwined, and now I'm just like, well, thanks for making me wait on Pennyworth now.
I need to watch Pennyworth too.
Oh, dude. Well, I'm only on episode 2.
Well, we have House of the Dragon that we're watching right now. Yeah. We're doing a scary / Halloween movie every night of October. We're still trying to, like, make our way through Harley Quinn.
You're the movie guys. You guys are the movie guys.
Well, I'm trying, but like we were saying earlier, there's so much content coming out. There's so many movies. There's so many shows.
But DC does it right.
Do they? What
do you got to complain about with DC?
Take out all of their animated stuff.
Okay.
And the Heath Ledger movie.
Why? Because it was that good?
What else do they have?
89? Batman Returns?
I mean, yeah, but that's not... I don't think that's Endgame.
Well, it was also in 89.
That's what I'm saying.
Tim Burton.
I'm saying, what have they...
You want to know what I thought was better than Endgame? The new Batman.
The Batman.
The Batman.
The Batman is
Pattinson
good.
crushed it, dude.
But now...
I was scared for that. I was like, he's going to butcher it. And he proved me wrong.
I was worried about it when they announced him. And then I'm like, why? Like, we'll see what he does. Like, let's see what he does.
Isn't he like 100? Like, is the accent fake or no? Does he have an accent? Is he British? I'm pretty sure he's British.
I don't know anything about him other than
I'm almost
he was in that movie and now he's in this movie.
That he was in Twilight.
Yeah.
I feel I keep seeing interviews, or maybe I'm thinking of somebody else that is British and totally loses the accent and does it very well. I'm probably thinking about somebody else. But regardless, I was scared because I was like, I'm not going to be able to not see Edward, you know?
Yeah.
But I didn't.
I never watched Twilight, so I never had that. I just knew that there's like an element of him in Twilight that I'd heard so much about, and I was like, please don't bring that to Batman. And he didn't.
I wouldn't say that he didn't, but his eyes are very distinguishable, I feel like. The second he does those sad boy eyes, you know, that's where I saw it a little bit, but after that, I'm just like, that's his face. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I can't not just, it's the same dude, you know?
He was also in like a very dark period of Batman too. Like he was sad boy Batman for real. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? But now it's like I keep hearing he's not coming back. I keep hearing that he is coming back. He's definitely coming back. Then I hear again he's not coming back. Then I hear they're trying to bring Ben Affleck back, and I'm like,
all I care about is Keaton. That's not. I already know that's not happening.
So he
was just asked in a press conference, "When's the next time we're going to see you as Batman on the big screen?" And he was like, "I don't know. I got other stuff to film now." And I was like, "Yeah, it's gone."
Well, they put him in Batgirl and just canceled it.
They filmed the whole thing. Just put it out. Yeah. You filmed the whole thing. Just put it. I'll edit it. Like I don't even care.
I think it's all edited.
Is it, dude? If that's even worse, put it out.
Wasn't it like a month from release?
Yeah, it was close. It was like ridiculous, and I was just like, "That's Keaton. Keaton's gone."
If you're a month from release, there's not like a lot you're doing. I don't think. I mean, I haven't worked on a movie. Well, The Flash is a whole nother thing.
That's a whole nother thing. But you know what? Keaton was still supposed to come back.
Is Flash canceled now?
Yeah, I think. Well, that's the whole thing. Is that was what was keeping Keaton like on board as Batman, and everybody was like, "Oh, he's gonna still come back in The Flash." And Flash is still on the edge, but I feel like it's on that point where it's like they haven't officially said nothing yet, so they're just gonna cancel it. If they're smart, they're gonna cancel it. Just saying.
Well, I remember the first time we talked about this. I'm like, get Flash out of here. It's so problematic. Like,
well, that's how they're bringing Keaton back, though, so I'm cool with it.
But he was in Batgirl.
But how did he get in Batgirl?
I
don't know the storyline.
Batgirl was supposed to come out before Flash, though.
But Flash can, regardless, time travel.
Then he can time travel to a prison cell somewhere. Anyways.
He should,
But I'm saying, like, if... and anyways, if they have Batgirl done, and there's not a bunch of problematic actors in it like there is with Flash. Well, there's one. I don't know if there's others. Why did you choose Batgirl over Flash if you're going to cancel Flash anyways?
I don't think it was their choice. I don't know exactly what happened. I forgot whose podcast I was listening. I listened to so many different podcasts. It was probably Comic Tom's or something. And I'm pretty sure that from my understanding that they went in so hard on the filming of it and like the production that they didn't pay enough attention to the storyline, and they ended up not filming a big enough part, or there was too big of a gap in the story or something that was really, I mean, I give it to them for not putting out crap and just taking the L. You know what I'm saying? Because if they're just like, well, there's a hole in this story, it's not good enough, we're just going to take the L after $50 million later.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, props to you for taking that one.
Well, because
You could have put She-Hulk out.
I read that it just got lost in the merger, essentially. The merger between Discovery and WB, and they went in so much debt over time that they just had to start cutting stuff.
And then they barely had a movie.
And then this was happening like when it got canceled, and then they're just like, we're not putting that out. We're not doing that. Mm-hmm. It's like, but I was confused because I'm like,
somebody didn't want to release the license or something.
If you're in debt and you need to cancel stuff, why does it make sense to cancel something that you've already paid for?
Yeah.
Even if you don't promote it, even if you send it straight to HBO.
It didn't need any promotion. It didn't need very much because you want to know why? Keaton.
Even if you send it straight to HBO and don't put it in theaters, don't do any of that. Don't pay for any of that. At least get people watching it and make some kind of money back. Even I don't know
just
anything.
Give it. I feel like the fans deserve it enough. I'm sick and tired of the Keaton teaser.
Yeah,
like
I was excited about Brendan Fraser was in it.
Yeah,
as like the big villain, which put him in DC twice, which was really trippy to me.
Yeah,
because he's in Doom Patrol, And now I read something the other day that Brendan Fraser might be coming into the MCU as Sentry.
Oh, you know what? We'll have to fact check on that.
Yeah,
but
like I said, I just read it the other day. You can read a lot of things on the internet.
Oh,
doesn't mean they're true.
Like She-Hulk is the greatest show on earth. I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop. I can't, bro. But regardless, it's done. It's over with.
I actually wanted to hear you talk about something real quick.
What's up?
Kiss.
Kiss.
I want to hear about it.
It just spiked. It has another high sale. Let me see. I wasn't prepared.
But you got it.
I got it.
Isn't this now like the second time they're in? What was the announcement? You had sent me an announcement.
It's the top trending list from Key Collector.
Oh.
Yeah. Top trending 10. Hold on, hot 10. Marvel Comics Super Special #1. There it is.
So when did this come out?
So this, back in the day. Second appearance of Kiss in comics.
That's what I read.
That's period.
I read that and I was like, oh, there's a new one.
Yeah, no. This is the one from back in the day. Right now it has a 9.4 that sold. It's up 67% right now. And it just sold for $1,250.
Jeez.
All those dudes are still alive.
Yeah.
They're not dead.
Not yet.
So that's crazy. You know, I mean, the Kiss fam and the Kiss fans, they go crazy for their merch, dude.
Oh, yeah, 100%. The Kiss Army.
Yeah, exactly. And this unslabbed is $230 by itself in like a high to nicer grade. And it's hard to get those because you don't get those. But the significance with this comic was that they put their blood into the red ink and inked the comic book with.
They put Kiss's blood in the red ink?
They put all 5 members of Kiss's blood in there.
So just covered in diseases?
Yes. Oh, it's a big controversy.
Oh my God.
It's a big thing. There's photos of it happening. I mean, you want to know how I learned about this book first? When I first heard about it when I was young,
tell me.
Pawn Stars.
Oh God.
Pawn Stars was the one they had the book pop in and it sold for a bunch of money and they were like, that's the one that has their blood in it, freaking out. But yeah, it literally it was before, I'm pretty sure, like the big AIDS epidemic.
So is this
1973?
Is this just like a Kiss comic, or is it Kiss in a comic?
This is a Kiss comic.
Oh, okay.
So like I have Rock and Roll, Guns N' Roses is one that I have. This is one that I've wanted for a little while because of the blood. I know that's weird.
The blood.
I think it's cool, and it's something. Nobody will ever get away with that again.
No.
But these pieces of comic, these pieces of history still exist.
Yeah.
And that's the coolest part to me. But yeah, I took a screenshot and I was like, bro, it's trending. People are hunting for it again. Like I don't think that.
Was there something specific that spiked it that you know of? Or
I'm pretty sure it was this last sale. So I think what spiked it was, I don't know exactly 100% what spiked it. I know Kiss is on tour again. I don't know what spikes these kind of comics.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is that like typically like when Daredevil just spiked, we knew that was because of She-Hulk. You know?
Right.
Anytime that somebody's going to pop up in a movie or have a new appearance or a new villain appearance or whatever, cameo in a movie or show, it's going to spike the book. That's just like the rules.
Right. I feel like it's weird too, because like I feel like that would happen if one of them passed away or, you know, stuff like that.
Nobody
but
did.
They didn't. Yeah.
And I don't know. It blows my mind.
Because I was like not completely confused. Like I saw the picture and stuff like that, but I didn't understand why you were sending me this picture.
Right. So
now I know.
I guess the reason why I sent it and it popped up is because it looks like there was actually three 3 sales that happened this last week. One at an 8.0, one at a 9.2, and one at a 9.4 for these comics.
Wow.
So they're hot. People want them.
Yeah, that'd be... I can't imagine. Did the 9.4... Was that the one that went for $1,200?
Yeah. But in February, the 9.4 was selling for $750. Mm-hmm. And it just sold for $1,250.
Jeez.
So that's the 67% spike. And then in July, the 9.2 was $550. And now that's up 10% by $605. And that just sold for $605, which is crazy.
Yeah.
From July. That's 4 months ago. And then in September, the 8.0 was selling for $480, now selling for $515. And those are sold listings.
Yeah. They're only going to go up.
Always.
That's crazy.
Always. And the fact that there is a 9.4, I don't even know if there's a 9.8 in this book.
Whoa. Yeah, I mean,
because this is 73. 73, the paper quality and the ink quality, they weren't meant to keep.
Well, there's blood in the ink, so
well,
it's probably doesn't look like,
pretty high quality, but
I feel like that's got to affect the color as, you know.
Dude,
what I mean?
I seriously, I think it was legitimately such a small amount that your comic could not have any Kiss blood on it.
I mean, if they...
I mean, they mixed it in with the paint.
That's not that crazy. But
yeah. You know, when you have a paint...
Hearing about it...
jug this massive and you put
a
vial of blood in it, that was this big.
But the fact that they did it is crazy. That's crazy to me. Especially them.
It's cool.
Like,
I think it's cool. I mean, but you think about the time. Like, now it's crazy to us because of the time that we were born in versus... I mean... I don't know a time that AIDS wasn't a thing.
Right.
You know, and HIV and stuff like that. And at that point, not that it wasn't a thing, but it wasn't a very common thing.
Yeah.
Nobody knew how to catch it. None of that stuff. And, yeah, they did some pretty crazy stuff that could have got a lot of people sick and probably passed around a lot of diseases. But you know what?
They did it.
It's a $1,300 disease that I'd pay for. You know?
Jeez.
Not really.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, that's the Kiss comic, and that was my sense of urgency and like, dude, it's going again. I thought you knew about it. I thought you would have known about it.
No,
I didn't know that you didn't know.
I was never a big Kiss person.
I was never huge into Kiss either. I know
they have like 3 songs in my mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
2.
And I don't even know what the third one is.
Exactly. 2. Detroit Rock City and
I just want to rock and roll.
Rock and roll all night. Yeah.
I just want to rock and roll all night.
And party every day.
All right. What else? Is there anything else you wanted to touch on? I feel like it was She-Hulk and Kiss. I wanted to ask you about Kiss, and we talked about She-Hulk for a lot longer than I thought we were going to.
Me too. I thought we were going to be in and out, and I don't know. She-Hulk got me heated, bro. She-Hulk got me.
we talked about
some kind of way.
I mean, throughout that, we talked about some other stuff too.
Yeah. Moonknight and etc.
She-Hulk. I thought maybe like there'd be a face or a cringe when I said it. There's a damage control back here. She-Hulk does make an appearance in that. She's not like a big character in it or anything, but Damage Control 1 is the book that I am doing a book breakdown of on Thursday. I think it's tomorrow.
Yeah.
So if you want to check that out, go check that out. We have Pull List that came out on Monday. Friday we have Spotlights. We talked about The Thing.
There he is.
And then Squirrel Pool is off camera up here, but if you want to see Squirrel Pool, check out that video on Friday.
I have to move him. I feel like I should just like.
I think he's in the other videos, like when we're standing. He's just not in the sit-in video.
He needs to be. I think I'm just gonna keep him right here every podcast. Yeah. You guys will see him. You'll see him. We're now over.
Well, we had some time sitting down and getting the audio rolling and stuff like that. But I think if you have nothing else to say, I don't have anything else to say until next week when we go to Black Adam.
Yeah.
I mean, technically,
when you guys are seeing this, we'll be at Black Adam pretty much.
This comes out on Wednesday, and we're going on Thursday night.
Next day, yeah. Next day.
And then we should have a guest on next week if everything goes right. We're going to see Black Adam with one of the people that I work with. They have a podcast. His name's Zach. Check out Your Other Podcast.
There we go.
It's out on like Spotify and Apple Music and all kinds of Apple Podcasts. Sorry. So hopefully, if everything goes right, we'll have a guest next week talking about Black Adam. And I think that's it.
That's it too. Like, comment, subscribe.
Follow the Patreon for some bonus content and material.
Yeah.
And this has been Lights Camera Comics.
There it is.
I've been typing it so many times this week, like editing and like teasing it and like putting it in videos and stuff. There's probably this is an Easter egg hunt. Go find when I misspelled comics, Comics Action, and find when I put camera instead.
It'll happen. I'll find one.
There's going to be at least one.
Eventually.
Yeah, at least one. Or like you'll type it and it'll autocorrect or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been
the Lights Comics Action Podcast
with Collective Comics.
Yep.